You just picked up a prescription, 300 bucks. You wince, you swipe your card, and then you open your HSA app and reimburse yourself the second you get to your car. You just turned a $300 copay into a $3,000 mistake. And if you do this every single year until retirement, you are torching roughly $280,000 in completely tax-free money. But here's the thing. Buried in the tax code, there is a completely legal move that lets you reimburse yourself for that exact same $300 prescription decades from now. By that point, this single receipt will be worth over 10 times its face value. I call it receipt banking. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to set it up so that every doctor's visit, every copay, and every pharmacy run from your 20s quietly compounds into a six-figure tax-free war chest. First, let's talk about why the HSA is the most underrated account in existence. If you have a high-deductible health plan, you qualify for a health savings account. And this thing is the only triple tax-advantaged account in America. Money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and it comes out tax-free for qualified medical expenses. No other account does this. Your 401k gets taxed on withdrawal. Your Roth IRA gets taxed on contribution. The HSA skates through all three checkpoints untouched. But here's what 90% of HSA owners do. They treat it like a flexible spending account. They go to the doctor, they pay the copay with their HSA card, and they move on. Or they manually reimburse themselves the second a bill shows up. And that feels responsible. But every dollar you pull out is a dollar that stops compounding forever. So let me show you the actual math. That $300 prescription, if you reimburse yourself today, you get $300. Transaction closed. But if you pay out of pocket instead, leave that $300 invested in your HSA growing at 7% per year. In 35 years, it becomes $3,203, 10 times your money, for literally doing nothing except not touching the account. Now you're probably thinking, there is no way the IRS lets you do this. They do. There is no expiration date on HSA reimbursements. You can pay for a qualified medical expense out of pocket today and reimburse yourself in 2045, or 2055, or never. The IRS does not care when you withdraw as long as the expense happened after your HSA was opened. That prescription from last Tuesday, still reimbursable, in 3 decades. At whatever your invested balance has grown to. So let's scale this up. Say you're 30 years old and you have around $2,000 a year in medical costs. Copays, prescriptions, dental cleanings, contact lenses, all qualified. If you pay all of that out of pocket and bank the receipts instead of reimbursing yourself, that $2,000 a year stays invested in your HSA compounding at 7%. By age 65, your accumulated receipts represent a reimbursement right of roughly $280,000, all of it withdrawable tax-free. Now compare that to the person who reimburses every year. They pull out $2,000 annually, spend it, and forget it existed. Over 35 years, that is $70,000 consumed and gone. No growth, no compounding, just receipts in the trash. Same doctor visits, same prescriptions. 2 completely different financial outcomes. So here is how you actually build this system. 3 steps. Step 1. Stop using your HSA debit card. Pay for every medical expense out of your regular checking account, or better yet, a rewards credit card. Earn points on the way in. Step 2. Photograph every single medical receipt, every copay, every prescription, dental work, vision, contacts, braces, sunscreen if it's SPF 15 or higher. Yes, that counts. Store them digitally. A cloud folder, a dedicated email address, anything. Just make sure each one shows the date, the provider, and the amount you paid. Step 3. This is the one most people skip. Invest the balance. Most HSA providers let you invest once you cross a threshold, usually around $1,000. Move the money into low-cost index funds and leave it alone. Because if your HSA sits in cash earning nothing, receipt banking does nothing for you. The entire strategy depends on that money being invested and growing. Now, a quick reality check. Some of you are thinking, what if I actually need that money for a medical emergency this year? Totally fair. If you genuinely cannot afford a $500 ER visit out of pocket right now, use your HSA. That is what it is there for. Receipt banking only works if you have the cash flow to cover current medical costs without dipping into the account. But here's the safety net. Once you hit 65, the medical expense restriction evaporates. At that point, your HSA functions like a traditional IRA. You can withdraw for literally anything without penalty. You'll owe income tax on non-medical withdrawals, but all those receipts you banked for decades, still 100% tax-free. So here is the bottom line. Your HSA is not a spending account. It is a stealth retirement account wearing a health benefit costume. The people who understand this treat every medical receipt like a retirement contribution. They pay out of pocket, they file the receipt, and they let compounding do the heavy lifting for 30 years. Most millennials will never do this. They will reimburse themselves for a $300 prescription today and feel smart about it. Meanwhile, you will be sitting on a pile of tax-free receipts worth more than most people's entire retirement savings. If this was helpful, there's more on the channel about money, investing, and keeping more of what you earn.